Gail with Gail Southern Living. Today I am participating in Pumpkin Palooza, hosted by Digging for Health. In this Pumpkin Palooza collaboration, it is an open collaboration. You can go by her channel and check it out. I'll try to link the video about it in the description box and also the playlist so you can check it out. There'll be lots of good pumpkin recipes, some healthy, some not so healthy. Okay, so for today, I'm going to be making pumpkin cranberry muffins. And I'm going to go ahead and start with my wet ingredients first. I'm going to do 2 eggs. Okay, I always have to wipe my hands off after eggs. All right. Okay, then I'm going to do 1 can of pumpkin puree, and you want to look on the can and make sure it only lists pumpkin as ingredients. I'm going to do 1 can of coconut milk, and this is 13.5 ounces. And I'm going to do a 1/2 cup of maple syrup, but you could use a different sweetener. You could use regular sugar, you could use Swerve, or whatever kind of sweetener you use. Okay, and that is all the wet ingredients. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that first. Make sure those eggs get nice and beaten before we start putting in the dry ingredients. And then after I get all the ingredients in, I'll check the moisture again to see if I need more. I actually converted this recipe to be a little bit more like my diet, except for 1 ingredient. Okay, I think that's enough for right now. Okay, we're going to start with the dry ingredients. Now, the original recipe called for 3 cups of oats. I converted this recipe to be a little bit more like mine, so you could use the 3 cups of oats, but I changed it around and I'm going to do it a little bit different. So I'm doing 1 cup of oats and 2 cups of almond flour. Okay, no matter how much you think you have yourself ready, you always forget something. In this case, it was my measuring spoon and my wash rag to wipe my hands down after I cracked the egg. But anyway, okay. So we're going to start with the seasonings part. We're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt first. You could use kosher salt if you have it. I don't happen to have any, I don't think. And a teaspoon of baking powder. So I'm going to do 2 of these. Okay. And we're going to do, so I don't have pumpkin spice seasoning, so I'm just going to go ahead and make my own, which is a combination of nutmeg, cinnamon, and ginger. So I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of each of these. And anytime I am baking dessert, I always do vanilla, whether the recipe calls for it or not. So I'm going to go ahead and do a teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, I'm going to double check the recipe, make sure I got everything. So it's going to call for a half cup of cranberry, a quarter cup of pecan, which I haven't put those in yet, 2 cups of almond flour, 1 cup of oats, 1 can of pumpkin puree, half teaspoon salt, teaspoon of baking powder, half teaspoon of nutmeg, ginger, and cinnamon, half a cup of maple syrup, a teaspoon of vanilla, and 2 eggs. I think I'm going to wait till the end to put this in because I don't want to break up the cranberry or the nuts. So I'll fold that in after it's done here. Okay guys, I am going to put the muffins in a muffin tin. I'm going to use baking liners. I'm going to spray the inside of the baking liners with cooking oil spray. That helps. And I'm going to fold in the cranberries and this. And that's it. And I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like after. You're going to bake it at You're going to bake it at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, so I did end up adding 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I thought the oil would keep it from sticking to the side of the baking cups. So I did do that. I will add that in the recipe in the description box. I did try 2 bites of it just now. It is so good. The cranberries are so sweet in there. And the pecans are perfect crunch and texture. It's really good and really moist. I love it. This is the first dozen right here. Well, that isn't quite a dozen. I have one of them, and another one over here tried to fall out when I was taking it out of the pan. So I'm cooking the second dozen right now. And anyway, I'll probably take another picture. But this is how they came out. They're really good. And I did add one little extra ingredient. I added about a half a teaspoon of coconut extract. I know that sounds really weird and it's totally optional if you want to do it, but I just love a little coconut flavor in my dessert. I'm kind of weird that way, but you don't have to do it, but let me tell you, it made it really, really good. This has a great flavor, and I can't believe I did so much adapting to it, and it still came out perfectly good and delicious. So I hope you guys like this recipe. And also another optional ingredient, chocolate chips. I know that sounds terrible, but chocolate chips would take this healthy recipe and make it totally unhealthy, but ooh, that would be so good. Also, white chocolate chips or even butterscotch, I think would be really good in here. But anyway, this is a great recipe. You can play around with it with some different ingredients. And anyway, it turned out really good. I hope you guys like it. I hope you'll give it a try. The recipe will be in the description box. You guys have a great day. Be blessed. Do something kind, guys.